Michigan, Auburn, Sweet 16 in Atlanta, shortly after Michigan State takes on Ole Miss. Should be an interesting arena. We didn't talk about that in the Michigan State game at all because I don't think it's really going to apply to the Michigan State game all that much, but I do think it's going to apply to this one. So let's start with the environment here, Cart. I bet you there's a lot of Michigan State fans that make the trip to Atlanta. May feel like a Michigan State home game down there a little bit. Is your fan base going to pull for Auburn here? Is your fan base just going to play pure, unbiased, neutral party observer? Because I could see a world where that crowd in a lot of green and white turns into let's go Auburn, I hate my rival. And I could also see a world where they flip that and say, you know what, we own Michigan, save the Big Ten, get that one seed out of here, let's do this. So what's it going to be?
I think there's gonna be. I'm probably wrong on this one, but like, I feel like there might be more people pulling for the fact that we want the worst team, which would be Michigan in this case, the team we beat already.
Twice dominated them.
Yeah, so I think yeah, we'd want that more. So even though that storyline like we lose that game to Michigan, that ruins our whole season.
But that
Season.
also, like saying that out loud, like, oh, who do we want? We want Michigan. That's also different than like rocking a Michigan State shirt in Atlanta in the arena and cheering when Vlad Golden dunks. Like, what
Yeah,
are,
no, that's yeah. Honestly, I think it'll be more so just watch.
let's say that Auburn's down one with a minute left. You're in the arena. What are you doing?
Auburn's down one.
Auburn's down one with a minute left. Are you trying to cheer Michigan to victory in that arena as a Michigan State fan that just watched your team win? Or are you trying to cheer Auburn to victory? Or are you just sitting there silently like,
I'm assuming you're with me, so I think I'm just looking to see what you're doing.
I'm not there?
Oh, you're not there. What the hell?
You're there with all of Michigan State Twitter. You have Dougie Tutter, you got Chief, you got Cumbo. It's just droves of people that hate me. DK's there ready. He's been screaming for an hour. It's awesome. And you're at the heart of it, leading the cheers one way or the other. Who is your collective pack cheering for?
I'm not cheering.
Okay, so y'all are going to play that game.
I'm not. You can ask others. I'm not cheering.
Okay, all right. It's needless to say, this is going to be a really interesting crowd, I think. Really interesting environment for this late game.
Yeah, especially because like, I mean, I'm awful geographically. The trip from Alabama to Georgia is like quick, correct?
I would assume so.
Like, it's gonna be jumping with Auburn fans for sure.
Yeah,
You don't think?
they'll be there.
You don't think they'll be there?
They'll be there. I
I
know
think
they'll be
that'll be
there.
I think that'll be the most present fan base out of all four.
Probably.
Yeah, they travel well. And it's close. They got no reason not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I won't be cheering for either team. I do not care.
Okay. All right. Thank you for making that clear. Jesus, man. Way to sell this for me. We could have gone to this, by the way, if we printed Save the Big Ten shirts
Yeah,
and go outside the arena here and sold blue and green Save the Big Ten, let's get wins today shirts. I bet you we'd make a killing.
yeah. Before we got arrested for selling unlicensed merchandise outside the stadium.
This is the ultimate day for Save the Big Ten, by the way. Our two teams in the arena together, hopefully trying to propel each other to one final matchup.
I mean,
That's what this is.
we prayed for times like this.
We really manifested this. It's insane. I can't believe they're in the same region, in the same building for this. To the teams that matter here. Auburn, the number one overall seed in the tournament, also definitively not playing like the best team in the tournament.
Mm.
By any sort of analytic, any sort of metric, even your eyeballs, there is no way to justify that this Auburn team is better than Duke or Houston or Florida right now. In fact, every version possible of that would tell you that Auburn is the weakest of the four. They are fourth on KenPom right now. I'll share some Torvik splits in a minute, but really over the last 6 to 8 games, however you want to slice it, Auburn is playing more like a top 15 team in the country than they are playing like the dominant team that they were for 3 months. Has something changed that makes this real, that Auburn has taken a step backwards?
So in the last 3 games, I'm sorry, last 6 games, they're 3-3 in those games, including a home loss to their rival in Bama on senior night, and also lost on the road to Texas A&M, and then lose to Tennessee in the tournament. Had a really close game with Ole Miss in the SEC tournament as well. They could have easily lost that game. They just, I don't know. To me, I was talking about this, actually funny you said this. We were talking about kind of keys to each Sweet 16 game on the full episode that's going to go out tomorrow with Dion. Um, and to me, one of the great things that made Auburn so good early on is that they were dominant, but also had like this chip on their shoulder still. Like they listened to things going on. To me, as of late, this team is sort of just like, I feel like they've lost a little bit of their edge somewhat. And I don't know if it's based off wins or losses, but I feel like they just have they I feel like teams fear them less now. Whereas at the beginning of the season, it's like, oh my God, this Auburn team is unstoppable. They're going to bust everybody's ass. They're waltzing through the SEC. They're beating the best teams in the SEC. And then, like, they had the this rough stretch towards the end of the season. It just seems that they've kind of lost their edge slash fear factor as a team.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to?
I don't think Janai Broome has been as scary as he was.
I think that's the right answer. So here's the data I have on this. If you remember back to their game against Kentucky on March 1st, Auburn won by 16 points at Rupp Arena. It was a dominant performance. But Janai Broome re-aggravated his shoulder. The injury that made him miss 2 games in January, he had largely been unstoppable since returning from it. And then on March 1st against Kentucky, he hurt his shoulder again. Since then, Broome had 9 points against Kentucky in 33 minutes, 8 points against Texas A&M in 32 minutes. He had 3 really stellar games, 34, 23, 23. Then 14 points in round one against Alabama State, game that was closer than it should have been. And then 8 points on 13 shots against Creighton. I mean, he did not look right against Calk at all. That's just a version of Janai Broome, the version that has been here in 60% of their games in the last month that we didn't see all season long. Like he has never looked like this, and he's looked like this more often than he has not in the last 3 weeks. Torvik as a team, like what? Okay, Broome was one thing. What has that done to Auburn as a team? Per Torvik, in their last 6 games, Auburn is 3-3. They are the 29th best team in the country. They are the 37th best offense. They are the 59th best defense.
Mm.
This is a team that is absolutely playing the worst basketball it has played this season at this point in the year. And I don't know whether it is just Broome's hurt. I don't know if it's other stuff going on. Lord knows there's a lot of stuff going on with the Bruce Pearl team and the personalities in this locker room at all times. But just eye test wise, Cart, they haven't looked good in this tournament to me. Give them credit for surviving against Creighton and winning. Creighton was tied with 8 minutes left in that game. And Alabama State was a close game for 20 minutes. So I buy that this team has taken a significant step back. I think you're with me on that.
Yeah, 100%. This is, I mean, like you look at a drop from 1 to 4 on KenPom, you're like, oh, I mean, 1 from 4. Like that's, no, I think it's real to say that this team, you compare it to the other one seeds in this tournament, they are the number one overall seed. They're playing the worst out of all the one seeds. They're the most gettable one seed in my mind. And yeah, I think it's real. I think this team has just not looked the same.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's kind of crazy to say it that way, but it
Makes
is what it is.
makes them gettable, Gregory.
It does. It does. So while Auburn is gettable and playing their worst basketball of the year, have you noticed what Michigan's done in the last 2 weeks?
What have they been doing, G?
This team's 5-0 in their last 5 games, Cart. Let's do the exact same thing we just did with Auburn in their last 3 weeks. Here's Michigan in their last 5 games. Seventh best team in the country per Torvik. They are the second best team in the Big Ten in that span. Actually, Maryland was the third best team in the country in this span. But Michigan has been the 33rd best offense, 10th best defense in the sport. And I think my eyes back that up. The big turnaround here for Michigan, more than anything, has been what they've done defensively. They just look really engaged on that end in a way they weren't at the beginning of the season. Vlad and Danny have held up really well. They're not getting in foul trouble. Their size is impacting opposing front courts. And I think the role players have started to find some juice a little bit. But to me, it's largely been what they've done defensively. They shut down Wisconsin, shut down John Tonji. I thought they did a great job on Wade Taylor. They really haven't seen a superstar in the last 2 weeks that they haven't really affected defensively. And I guess the question will be, how do they hold up against the biggest superstar in the sport?
Yeah, the biggest superstar in the sport. Some wings that can really get hot and shoot the ball well. A guard off the bench who can be special into High Pettiford. It's the thing that makes us not completely get out on Auburn. Like we talk about how bad they are, but also you want to talk about the ceiling of this Auburn team. It's dominance. We just haven't seen that in the last 6 games.
Yeah. Give me this. Three different versions of each of these teams.
Hmm.
At their best, highest ceiling possible is one. At their mean, average, middle is two.
Hmm.
At their worst, absolute floor is three.
Yeah.
Put the six version, all three of Auburn, all three of Michigan in order in terms of caliber for me.
Oh shit. Okay.
Like
Auburn ceiling's one.
way up there in a stratosphere all by itself. Then what?
Yeah. And then
Like, is the average Auburn performance better than Michigan's ceiling performance?
oh, it's close. I think I'm gonna lean Auburn slightly. Slightly?
I would disagree there.
Okay. What's
Maybe
Michigan's
I'm,
ceiling performance?
the weird thing is I don't know that we've seen it, but probably what they did to Purdue in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, win by 18, or
Okay.
what they did at UCLA.
Hmm.
Just a night where you're making shots, you almost score 90, and the defense is real.
Yeah. I feel like the ceiling in Auburn's like middle game is can go either way. I'm gonna lean Auburn, but if you ask me tomorrow, I might say the ceiling of Michigan, I guess. And then I think it would be Auburn's floor than Michigan's floor.
Okay, so, ooh, yeah, probably. I mean, Michigan's floor, I think Auburn's a lot more likely to play to their floor in this game than Michigan is. Is that fair?
Auburn's a lot more. Uh, given how they played, yeah, I'll allow. Yeah, that's
Because
fair to say.
Auburn's been playing to their floor all the time lately.
Hmm.
Michigan, to me, seems like they have really turned a real corner here.
Right. What would you constitute this 5 game win streak as for Michigan?
Like on the spectrum of ceiling to average,
Yeah.
definitely close to the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah, I think Michigan is truly peaking absolutely right now.
Right.
Um, I mean, the Texas A&M game to go against the best rebounding team in the sport, out rebound them.
Right.
There's nothing fluky about that. That was just we outplayed Texas A&M. So,
Right.
and Texas A&M, reminder, team that beat Auburn, one of five
Hmm.
teams that got them done this year. So, we shall see. To me, I made this point to you in the Bleacher Report room, but I want to bring it back up. When I look at Auburn, try to find a commonality between their five losses this year. This is a team that's 30-5. They are truly sensational. In all five losses, I think there's been one common trait between Duke, Florida, Texas A&M, Alabama, Tennessee. Obviously, those are five really good basketball teams. You got to be good. But secondly, all five of those teams have really good 2-point defenses that have been able to hold up one-on-one with Janai Broome.
Hmm.
If you start sending doubles and triples at Janai Broome, then the shooters get open, then Miles Kelly starts making 7 threes, then Pettiford gets some swagger to him. Auburn is freakish and terrifying when everybody's going.
Hmm.
When it's just Janai Broome with a banged up shoulder, I think they're a lot less scary. And I think that's what all of their losses have shown us this year. Now, Michigan, I think in theory, profiles perfectly to that because they're not going to double Janai Broom. They're going to put Vlad Golden on him and hope he doesn't get in foul trouble and just stand there and be big. And then let Danny crash from the side and grab rebounds. I got to be honest, X's and O's profile wise, I love it for Michigan here. Broom might get 40. He might just dominate Vlad. He could. A fully healthy Janai Broom will probably stuff Vlad Golden in a locker. But I think Michigan, archetype wise, schematically wise, is exactly what you need to be to beat this Auburn team. And I think that alone gives Michigan a chance.
Yeah, and look, and you always look to turnovers too when you think about Michigan. Now they've been great at taking care of the ball as of late. But like Auburn's defense is top 12 in the country, but like forcing turnovers isn't what they do the best of. They're like middle, not even middle of the pack in the country, right? They're not that they don't really force turnovers. They just have a really good 3-point defense and a okay like I don't know. When you look at the metrics, you look at these two teams, you take out like the name portion of it and like what you've seen. Obviously, you can't do that when matching these teams up. But like you just do the metric versus metric matchup, you can see some areas where Michigan could definitely win this basketball game.
Turnovers is one because you mentioned Auburn does not force a lot of turnovers. That, to me, good sign. Second, Auburn, a surprisingly weak defensive rebounding team.
Mhm.
Michigan's been great on the boards lately. Like I
Yeah.
think this is a game. Danny Wolf and Vlad are going to be bigger than their matchups here. Not saying they have an advantage over Janai Broom or the physicality of the other Auburn bigs. Don't get me wrong. They're great. Chaney Johnson scares me. Dylan Cardwell is a monster.
That
I
that that goes both ways, doesn't it?
It does. Going to be a lot of second chances in this game, I think.
Yeah, because Auburn's pretty good at it too, and I'd be interested to know how much better Michigan has gotten since like, because it seems like they've controlled the boards, and that's really helped them as of late. They haven't really let teams get offensive rebounds, um, which has helped them out. So that's definitely going to be mad. The boards are going to be really good in this game, massive in this game.
How much better are Auburn's guards than Michigan's?
A lot better.
So you got Janai Broom in the front court, the best front court player in the sport. And we are also sitting here saying the bigger mismatch is Auburn's backcourt over Michigan's guards. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, yeah, because Michigan's front court is talented for sure.
Who has the better front court?
Who has the better front court?
Yeah.
It's
Would you rather have Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden, or would you rather have Janai Broom and
yeah. Who's the second? Actually, scratch that. I don't care. I'd rather just have Janai Broom.
okay, I think that's the
Yeah.
wrong answer for what it's worth.
So Michigan has the better front court.
I think Michigan has the best front court in the country. And I
Okay.
think Auburn has the best front court player in the country. And that's going to make this a really exciting matchup. But I think we have seen Danny and Vlad hold their own against other quote unquote top five front courts in recent weeks.
That's very true.
I think they'll be up for the challenge, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know if my guards will. Like if we look to the end of this game and Auburn just punks Michigan, my strong belief is it will come with great, awesome games from Pettiford, from Kelly, from Denver
Mm,
Jones. I don't think Janai Broom by himself will win Auburn this game.
I feel that's fair.
Maybe I'll be
Yeah,
wrong.
that's fair.
How much do the extra logistic stuff matter to you in this game? This is last year. Janai Broom lost to Danny Wolf. Now, Danny was not good. I know you always make that point. He was not good in that game, but there's some ghosts, I think, there. Like Danny Wolf beat Bruce Pearl and Janai Broom and Denver Jones last year.
Mhm.
And then you've also got the whole Trey Donaldson saga here, which I'll reveal more on in just a second. But start with the Danny stuff. Do you think that matters?
Did you see the Chad Baker thing?
What do you say?
He's like, "Are we playing Michigan? We playing Trizzy or some nickname he had for Trey Donaldson?" He was just laughing about it. It was a funny clip. He's
So Chad
26 years old
Baker-Mazara
though.
didn't even know who they play.
I think this was after the like directly after the game, and like they hadn't maybe I don't know if they figured it out yet, not.
So
But
Chad Baker-Mazara hasn't looked at a bracket before their round of 32 game. Is
he
that what I'm
honestly
hearing?
probably hasn't. He
Yeah. Does
probably
he
has
know
not.
it's the tournament?
No, probably not. I do think that is a factor that actually does help Michigan. I think that helps Michigan in this case. I think there is a little bit of I consider the last 5 games of Trey Donaldson to be like that dude's a gamer. So like give him you pick these guards over me. Now does that end up good or not? I don't know. But like I feel like that's gonna be the mindset.
So I'm worried about Donaldson here.
Like worried about him doing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very real. He does too much generally. This one is a game where he could definitely do that.
I think this is going to be a juiced up, like, let me get my get back game from him.
Hmm.
And as good as he's been, as clutch as he's been, I'm afraid he's going to press early in the game and dig a hole. Like, couldn't you see a world where Donaldson like attempts 4 shots in the first 4 minutes, goes 0 for 4, and Auburn's up 13-2 before Dusty takes a timeout?
Yeah, I could easily see that.
That's what scares me. Now, if we get to crunch time, I trust Trey with my life, with my baby's life. But for now, I'm a little worried he's going to circle this. If for those that don't know the backstory, by the way, here's the story on how Trey Donaldson got to Michigan. Supposedly at the end of last season, I think Bruce Pearl just sort of bluntly conversed with a couple guys, but like Donaldson being one from like a hey, Pettiford's coming in, like let's find you a new spot type thing.
Hmm.
And Donaldson was on board with it. It seemed like a very mutual. There's no crazy bad blood here.
Yeah, didn't Bruce
But
Pearl like call Dusty like I got a guy you would like?
the story is literally that Bruce Pearl hand delivered Trey Donaldson to Dusty May because he wanted Trey Donaldson to go to a spot that he felt was a great landing spot for a kid he really loves. So apparently that's what happened. Dusty May was like, "Who's the kid? Talk what? Let's talk about this." And then it was just like hand delivered. There wasn't much of a recruitment here. It was like, "Go do it." So
I
thank you,
love like the
Bruce.
heart. I love like the heartwarming feel of this. Like he didn't say get the F off my team.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Number one, Bruce, who is on record saying his guards are not. Okay, what's the family-friendly word I can say?
Vagina.
Is that really how we got to say it?
Yeah. No no square.
So Bruce Pearl's on record saying his guards are not no-no square. We sure about that?
Don't do that to yourself.
Can I call Bruce Pearl's bluff?
I recommend that you don't.
I want to call Bruce Pearl's bluff here.
Oh no.
I want to do it.
Do you want to think about it before you do it?
No, I've thought about
Okay.
it a lot before this moment, and I want to call his bluff.
Okay.
I want Trey Donaldson in this game. I want the guy that's hit a game-winning shot in 4 consecutive games. I don't think that guy's a no-no square. And I think Bruce Pearl was implying he was.
Mhm.
And I'll rock with the guy here. What if Auburn guard's done in this tournament, by the way?
Todd Pettiford, I think, has set the record for most points by an Auburn freshman ever in the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, he went crazy. He's gone crazy.
Hmm.
Miles Kelly had what, 23 in the first game, I think?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. They've been really, really good, haven't they?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Were you trying to see if they didn't have good games?
No, I knew they had good games. I've watched.
Oh, so like, what's the angle here?
I just want the record to show Auburn's guards have been great coming into this game.
Yeah, they have. Denver Jones was good too in the Creighton game.
They got great guards. Not no-no squares, or so I'm told.
I'm so scared where you're going with this.
There's nowhere I'm going. I'm told those guards are not fearless, or they are fearless. They are
Yeah.
terrifying. They are great. They are fearless. They are all basically every guard you just mentioned. You think is a better player than Trey Donaldson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You got the front court star that you said you'd pick over my front court, and all 3 Auburn guards are better than my best guard.
Hmm.
How many Sweet 16s has Bruce Pearl made in the last 5 years, by the way?
I don't think he's made any.
Well, he's in it this year.
Okay, so one.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to make sure I have this right. Bruce Pearl's made 2 second weekends since I was in high school.
Hmm.
You trust him in this spot?
Yeah, I do.
Trust him more than you trust Dusty May?
I trust them both.
There anything you trust more for Michigan in this game?
Academics.
So no.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Almost like it's a nightmare matchup again, huh?
Oh God.
Well, this is just crazy, man. The third straight game, there's nothing Michigan can do, it feels like.
No, listen. The front court thing is real. Like you saying you got the better front court is not a crazy statement. I think that Auburn has Janai Broom and then Chaney Johnson. I think plays a lot of four. But like if you're taking like the sum of the parts, like Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf, like you stated, that's the sum of the parts backcourt. You probably take a lot of people are taking that over what Auburn's front court is. I don't think the guards is the discussion. And coaching wise, I guess you can go either way with that. So that's it's not a
Some
it's
of
not
the
official.
parts. I hope
Hmm?
I hope the sum of my parts can get this one done. Keep it close.
I don't know. I'm feeling confidence from you. This is a team in Auburn who is the 29th best team in the sports in the last 6 games. Is that what it said?
I think they've been flat out bad for a month. I think Michigan's best pieces are better than you're giving them credit for here. Some of the parts. I think they need their 2 stars to superstar. If that happens, I really like their chances. They've been superstarring for a while, at least last 2 weeks. Now it is weird because I am confident against the number one overall seed. And in this entire run, I've been extremely unconfident. The only game
Mhm.
I've really been confident in was the San Diego game. Thought they'd
Right.
lose all three in the Big Ten tournament. Thought they'd lose to A&M. We'll do predictions in a second, but I fully expect this to be a game. Auburn's 9 point favorites.
Mhm.
I hear that. They're very good. We'll see. I like where we're at. Last question for me before predictions. Could you tell me? I wasn't really paying too much attention to it at the time. Newborn stuff, crazy. What exactly schematically did Alabama State do to be down one with a minute left in the first half against this team?
Nah, I couldn't tell you on that one.
Mm. Was it just a sum of the parts thing?
I didn't watch that game to be honest with you.
Probably just a sum of the parts thing. Let's do predictions.
Oh,
Ken Palm likes Auburn by 8. Spread is
huh?
9. What do you got?
Um, Ooh. Give me Auburn by 13.
So you don't think it's going to be all that close of a game?
No, I think we'll be close. I think it'll just end up 13.
Okay. I think Michigan covers comfortably. This is one of my favorite bets of the week. Actually, Michigan and Michigan State to cover my two favorite bets of the weekend. Can I get very specific with a prediction?
Yes.
With 30 seconds left and Michigan down 2,
Mm.
Trey Donaldson will hit a go-ahead 3,
Mm.
and Tahad Pettiford will hit a buzzer beater game winner.
Mm.
Big shot, Todd. Big game, Tahad. I think Michigan's close game luck comes crashing down. It would be a very fitting way for the season to end.
And then a bunch of people tweet afterwards talk about told you it's not sustainable.
It would be a really, really fitting way for the season to end. And to be honest with you, like now to get more pompously arrogant for a second, this program, Michigan, has had a lot of March like luck.
Hmm.
Like it's very rare that like the buzzer beating loss goes against us.
Hmm.
We've had three or four big like game winning shots in March in the last couple years. Feels like this is the spot where like we're just due. We're due to get our heart broken. And I think this Michigan team will play good enough to win. Vlad and Danny will do their thing. Matchup wise, X's and O's, I love it. And then in the end, Auburn just gets it done. They're too good, and their guards aren't no squares.
That makes sense. Can I ask one last question before we get out of here?
Yep.
What percentage would you put it in as like you fear Auburn playing like they played earlier in the season? Like they snap out or not snap out of it, but they play anything close to what they played earlier in the season? Or do you think that team's gone because
I'll be
like
completely,
injuries and things?
completely honestly, and this can come back to haunt me completely honestly. I think that team is gone
Okay. I think that's fair.
because I think Janai Broom is hurt.
Mm.
I think that's it.
Mm.
Now, Broom could go for 40 and shut me up. I don't know. But I think they were unstoppable with healthy Broom, and they've been very stoppable since.
Fair.
We'll see. Gonna need an A+ performance. We'll have a recap up of it. I love this matchup.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.